Baby, I'm back. It's been it feels like a month, but I'm back. I'm not here alone. I've got a posse of homies hanging out in the back room here. We'll bring them on here shortly, but did want to tease out some questions, some very important questions that I'm hoping will be answered today. Like, is XRP a security or not? Maybe. Is DFK going to the moon? Are hot dog sandwiches? I don't know. We'll find out the answer to those questions and many more here shortly. But before then, don't forget to like this video, comment, sub if you haven't already, and of course, as always, grab a drink, take a seat, and welcome to the flock. Welcome, everybody. We've got Bolin, we've got Chair, we've got Brown Gent, Christian Peter, Ogre, Doug Hype. We might get a cameo from Mr. Stickintern himself. We'll wait here shortly, but before we get started, let's do some let's do some introductions. We'll start with our new folks. We'll go down to those who have been here before. Chair, thank you very much for joining us. Who are you? Where can people find you? And what do you do?
Hello, everyone. I am Chair. I am here to prop you up. I am the project manager at Infinity Keys. I have been balls deep even, in Web3 for a while. Broke in during DeFi summer, actually actively building. Am real deep in the communities of a few games, including Aavegotchi, which I love very much, and I'm going to shoehorn in as much as I can in this conversation. Been messing around with DeFi Kingdoms a little bit lately with Ogre down there. But overall, I'm a Web3 maxi, try to be as an effective of a builder and coordinator as I can within the space, and love Web3 games as well.
Kudos to you. Thank you very much for joining us. I love the fact that I said, hey, do you want to join? And before I could even get the word out, you said, I'm there. Tell me when and where. So I love that very much. We'll plenty of opportunity for you to talk Aavegotchi and just pick your brain, and we'll learn more about you and what you do here throughout the hour. Doug Hype, welcome back. You're new, but you're not new. Tell us about yourself. Show me, baby.
I am not real. Hey, if anybody here has heard of artificial intelligence, not only is it a really, really interesting concept, but Elon just did a thing this morning with he's starting XAI, a whole AI thing, and there's a whole thing, all this stuff happening. If you haven't heard of artificial intelligence, I'll send you a book about it, okay? And I'm actually going to be doing a show on artificial intelligence with journalists and people that are actually creating AI versions of people and like famous people right now. So you can it's like they have their own, how you always wanted to clone yourself and have a second version of yourself that can do things like interact with your friends, do work for you. Like you can now do that. You can do that. So I'm going to have a show about that, and it's going to be fun because there's people doing it right now. And all kinds
of stuff. When and where?
It's on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern time on my YouTube channel. If you put a link in the description, that means you're a good host. If you don't, I will not send you cookies for Thanksgiving.
What? Dump your link in private chat, and I'll put it on the.
I'll dump it right here. And of course, you guys know that me and Brown Gent work for Dragons Crossing, and I am not only the best Dragons Crossing player, but I also purposely registered Brooklyn Dick as the last registered hero of the season to win the season, to prove to everybody not only I am the best, but all the people that were afraid to register late. Brooklyn Dick's coming for you. All right?
There you go.
Nothing. Well, one thing that's funny, but it's literally the name of the character that I summoned at the very last second, and I was like, "You see the glory that happens when you believe in yourself." Okay.
Well, if you're having your conversation on AI on Monday, you'll love this. I have a pretty good connection with Elon. He actually messaged me. All he wants me to do is send him 0.1 ETH, and believe it or not, he'll send me 2 back. I'll report.
Wow.
I'll let you know Monday how that goes, and then
Please.
we can go from there.
I mean, honestly, I did berate his team with DMs to be like, hey, if anybody from XAI wants to come on and talk to these people that are already doing crazy stuff with AI, you could if you wanted to. I mean, he had journalists in there, all this stuff. And it's interesting to see all the different people come from around the world to talk about it because Elon admitted he wants to save humanity. He's like, humanity is rare and scarce. There's no aliens in the world. And he's like, God doesn't exist. So like, you need to save humans. And I was like, that's actually a really good argument. That's maybe the smartest thing, the only cool thing I've ever heard him say.
Well, Doug Kai, Bolan will tell us that humans are fucked already. So Bolan, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are for anyone who doesn't know you.
Answer this question, Bolan. Is AI going to destroy humanity or save it? Because maybe humanity is the worst, and AI can save humanity.
I mean, maybe AI will save the rest of the planet by annihilating humanity.
No, that's the easy answer. We're
No, I absolutely believe we will all bow down to our AI overlords right before they cut our heads off. Look forward to it. But so yeah, I am Bolan. I'm no one. I am the director of player engagement for Kingdom Studios, making DeFi Kingdoms, obviously. Pretty much community, PR, risk management, anything public facing, generally speaking, resides in my domain in one way or another. But always happy to be here. Really appreciate everybody that's up here because I've gotten to actually speak to all of you, meet several of you, and you're all fantastic people. So happy to be here.
Welcome back, Bolan. Appreciate it.
Well, you just said humanity was terrible, but you said we're fantastic.
Well, that's a fact. We are fantastic, humanity as a whole.
Okay, I was just wanting to make sure I heard that.
Well, and you got to remember, if the bar's here, it's not that hard to be up here.
Right? It's really low. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Okay.
Brown Gent, you're one half of my my roommate here. We spent an awesome time at 3XP. Got the chat, DFK crypto, all everything in between. For those of you who don't know you, who are you? What do you do? And where can people find you?
You also forgot we were Target buddies. We went there, bought some towels, bought a bag, right? It was good times. We don't have a Target.
And I've since returned that bag because I'm not paying $60 for a backpack. But
that was the plan, right? We talked about that too.
We did.
So, I'm the Brown Gent. I like to think of myself as like the Gen Zero whisperer. And on that note, I want to congratulate Sargent, who's picked up 2 Genesis heroes in the last month. So congratulations to you.
Right.
I'm just an investor looking for great opportunities in Web3, crypto, and stocks.
I know, I love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. You are you're a guru. On that note, thank you very much for helping me sort of re-envision my DFK portfolio. I am bullish. I'm just bullish different these days. 2 Gen Zeros. I mean, does it get more bullish than that? I don't know. Christian Peter, what a spiffy background. Who are you? What are you doing? You're doing some pretty cool stuff here lately. Tell us about it.
Thank you, Sarge. Yeah, I have 3 quick public service announcements for the entire gang here. First up, I have an interview coming up with Jet on Monday, so I get a chance to chat with him about the upcoming Next Crypto Gem project and what's happening with the Wait token. Since I'm not an investor in the Wait token yet, I'm going to have him give me reasons why and why not. That's going to be a good idea or not. Also, too, there might be somebody on the Next Crypto Gem that may be of interest to everybody here. So maybe we'd get a viewing party together for that, which will be cool. Second up, Sarge, since you and I are in San Diego and the upcoming Comic-Con is starting next week, I figured that if anybody is here or anybody's going to come for Comic-Con, hit us up. We're on Twitter, and that would be awesome to get together, grab some beers or some food and just chill for a bit. And I did hear that Ogre was planning a Nashville meetup for DFK at some point in the future, which sounds super cool. DFK meetups are definitely great. We had so much fun at 3XP and previously the one in San Diego. And third up, I've got my studio 99% of the way there. So I'm looking to have some more DFK community on DFK today for interviews about what's going on, the latest hype. I'm super excited about Holiday and getting the next, million people onboarded onto Web3. I know that Bolon will probably have some more info about that, but I've talked about account abstraction and what's going to take to get just your average everyday person playing Web3 games. And I think that was a big topic as well at 3XP, and I'm super excited about that. So let's get the next 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 people all onboarded this week, Bolon. I'm looking for it. Okay, Big?
Yes. Yeah. No pressure, Bolon. You're behind the 8 ball though. So what are you doing here? Ogre, you're repping a pretty neat shirt here. Mythic Squad, you're everywhere. You're in DFK, you're here, you're there. I mean, you're Mythic Squad. Tell us about you. I know Christian Peter just teased out a Nashville meetup, but tell us about that. What's going on? What are you doing in your life?
Number one, I'm nobody. Don't worry about me. The Nashville meetup is going to happen. It's going to happen, I believe it's third weekend of September. And it's not really so much a DFK meetup as it is an opportunity for a meet and greet with my man Bolin right there. He's going to be in town, so we're going to set something up so that those of us who are close or want to come hang out in the amazing city, going to come and we're going to have some fun, have some giveaways, probably have a tournament. We're probably going to try to involve other projects in it as well, so that it's more than just DFK. There's probably going to be, well, I won't say probably, but there's a solid chance there's going to be a giveaway and a tournament where people will be winning prizes while we're having fun, commiserating, meeting each other in real life, taking our relationships to that next level, because that's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely. Oh boy. At your perfect timing, he's like, I can't even. I'm going to segue and introduce him at the same time. Let's get at it. Normally, I award points during these. I'm sort of getting back into the game of things. So let's be honest, you all would have lost anyhow. But let's just go ahead and just have fun conversations. There's someone here in the background. We'll go ahead here in a second. But before then, let me just tease him out. Yeah. And we can go ahead and get started here with my first sort of question, sort of soliloquy here. A lot of seemingly great news out there, I'm sure, unless you've been living under a rock or a black rock. XRP has been deemed not a security, but has it? Maybe. I was going to take this on by myself, and then I realized I was going to sound like more of a bumbling idiot than I normally would. So I decided to bring someone on. He's an intern by night, a lawyer by day. He is my intern. He is your intern. He is Stick's intern. And he's here to help us better understand what this all means for you, for me, for your favorite crypto project. Stick's intern, welcome, baby. Brief introduction.
Hello.
What do you do? And then tell us about XRP.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Styx Intern. I am a meme generator for DeFi Kingdoms, which is an unofficial title that I gave myself. And I make memes primarily using the bloater plushie as my subject of my art. And during my daytimes, as you mentioned, I'm an attorney, so I do litigate contract issues between big businesses. Like for example, I'm working on a 9-figure amount in dispute at the moment, and I also do constitutional litigation. So I've litigated the first, 4th, 5th amendments many times over, and the 14th Amendment many times over. So that is what I do. I'm not a practicing securities lawyer, but I know how to read an opinion.
Doug Hype Chair, if ever you're going to get yourself an intern, get yourself one who's also a lawyer.
He sounds like a very litigious intern. Can you sue people for me?
No, I'm not litigious. I've never been a party to a lawsuit. I just, I help litigious people out. Or I help defend against litigious people. It's probably a better way of putting it.
You ever defend yourself?
No, I've defended my firm. I've been part of a case where I defended my own firm, but never anything that I was personally involved with.
Have you ever defended AI is my real question.
Oh.
No, but I do. I am our firm's internal person on leading AI legal research tools.
Well, you're going to have to come to my show on Monday. Okay, you got to come because we're going to have AI people that are probably breaking laws and you need to arrest them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's
I
pretty
need-
funny. Some attorneys have straight up been using ChatGPT to write briefs, and it gives them citations that look legit. And when you go like pull up the numbers, there's just nothing there, or it's a totally different case. So ChatGPT just hallucinates these sites, and like it's happened to a couple of times now. It happened to the guy in the office next to mine at work. The opposing party filed a brief with like 12 of the 14 cases didn't exist, and it's just like, you didn't write this. You just plugged this into ChatGPT. Wow.
On a serious note, I'm going to probably have these experts that are coming on that have already made people into AI make me into one. So like you could give like some advice on like what is legal. Can you have two versions of yourself? Do you have to do taxes for them too? All that stuff.
All right, let's be real. Like, we can't keep up with AI, we being humans. So how do we expect our legislators to? AI will always be a step ahead of regulation. That's the power of AI.
We're definitely fucked. But speaking of AI, XRP sticks and turn.
So what do you want to know
Is it
about
security?
XRP? Yeah,
Is
so
it security? Because it sounds like it may, but it may not be. I mean, it sounds like it's a convoluted answer, and it'll lead us to a topic of discussion here in a second. Break
Sure.
that piece down first.
okay, so is or is XRP not a security? That is a theoretical question that you're going to have to answer for yourself. What I can tell you is that a United States district court held that sales on a secondary market by Ripple of XRP to people just like buying and selling as you would on a centralized exchange did not constitute a sale of a security. However, Ripple's sales to what were called or classified by the court as institutional buyers, where Ripple said like, pro formas and what you would typically see in a kind of big investment deal negotiated by what the law calls like savvy or sophisticated investors. And along with these representations, Ripple made promises. And those promises combined with the token formed a investment contract, right? And so the token itself was not a security. It was the fact that the token was given along with this set of promises, kind of in consideration for money, and the promise that the value of the token would go up, like explicitly made by Ripple. And one thing the court really distinguished for the secondary market sales versus the institutional buyer sales is that the secondary market buyers, even though like 1% of them actually bought from Ripple as their counterparty, so the money actually did go fund the common enterprise of Ripple, they didn't even know that they could not have known that Ripple was the other end of the buyer, because they were working through a middleman. And the lack of any, it wasn't expressly stated, but there's this concept in law called privity, and it's having a certain relationship between parties. It's just used in many contexts. It just means a special kind of relationship. And the court's kind of analysis seemed to imply that there was no privity in the investment contract sense between the secondary buyers and Ripple, because they didn't even know what they were buying. They didn't receive the same promises that the institutional buyers did. So this is what's been tracking what a lot of people in crypto law have been saying for a while, which is that the question is not whether a token is a security. It's you technically have to analyze each and every sale of the token to determine whether that sale is a securities contract. And so like if I go, sell you a bunch of pieces of paper that are like Sticks Intern IOUs, hey man, I'm gonna go make it so that these are the most valuable things in the world. It doesn't matter that they're just unofficial pieces of paper. If I say it to you, it's these promises and the fact that I'm giving it to you as a representation of those promises. And so for the institutional buyers, the token was a representation of those promises. But the token itself is not a security. It's the token along with the promises.
Can I just break in here for 1 second? Because
Break
you
in
basically
and
just made it impossible for anybody to ever figure out whether or not they're buying a security. That is that interpretation, which I agree with you, like that. I don't know the law as well as you do. You're probably right. But if the law takes that stance, it makes it impossible for any of us to really invest in this space and take a chance, because there's always that possibility that the U.S. government's going to come in and go, nah, I don't like what y'all did. You made too much money and it didn't go the way we wanted it to. So screw y'all. You're getting hosed. We need regulatory clarity that is understandable at the level of the common man, period. Like all of this gerrymandering of legalese screws over the average person. It is a way that the advantaged take advantage of us, the average person. So go ahead. I saw a hand.
Hold on. Let's hear it.
I'm going old school.
Do it.
So, I mean, I agree in terms of like, it would be great to have, consistent and clear regulation. The part that I diverge on is that it's understandable to like the masses, because that's never going to happen. Have you seen our tax laws? Like the government
Therein lies the problem. That doesn't mean we can't fix it.
They let us guess and then penalize us if we're wrong. But ultimately, like, would it be fantastic if it was understandable to the masses? Absolutely. Make life a whole lot easier. But even if it's not, I think that can be overcome because we have people like Sticks Intern, where this new project can say, well, Sticks Intern promises you it's not a security. Just
Which
kidding,
I do
Sticks.
not right now on this video at all.
Right, correct. But if there are actual regulations in place, then there's ways that can be gotten around like the complicated language, right? So I'll even take complicated legalese regulations as long as the regulations themselves are consistent. I'll deal with the rest.
Yeah. So complicated legalese regulations are pretty much unavoidable. Like, wait till you hear the definition of the word negligence, which everyone is expected to understand, by the way.
Only if we allow them to run our lives. Like
No, I'm telling you, this has been like descended for thousands and thousands of years. Just that definition, and you have to read like 80 books to understand what it means.
Are you talking about U.S. code or are you talking about UCC? Because they're two different things.
I'm talking about common law with that one.
Okay.
Christian, Brown Gent, are you guys selling the news and
I want to respond to Ogre really quick about why this isn't like a bad thing. This is really good because what this does is the SEC has been doing a regulation by enforcement strategy where no one had any idea what a court would rule. And so they could kind of just do back channel, like hardballing on all these crypto companies, and none of them would want to resist because it was very uncertain how a court would consider it and whether any court would buy these arguments that these weren't a token. And that veil's kind of been shattered now. So it really bolsters the side of going for it. And more importantly than that, it makes the SEC have to think more critically about what cases they'll bring in the first place. And so that has been kind of the problem with the regulation, is it's been just kind of shotgun. I'm going to fire at everything I can, and everyone's going to just give up and pacify. And now if they do that too much, if they were to take like another Ripple again, if they got another case that had another holding like this, it would start looking really bad. And I've been in situations where there was a novel issue and it just so happened that like another district court decided it just before mine. So it wasn't binding, right? It wasn't something that this court that I was in had to follow. But I tell you, when the other side cited that opinion, the court was like, easy mode activated. I don't have to do anything risky. I'm just going to do what they did here. And courts like to do that.
What percentage of law/courts would you say comes down to just straight up precedents?
All of it. Can I just
all like most
we move on? Because we're putting people to sleep here. There's too much lawyer speak. We're getting too deep into it.
I was invited just for this.
That I take with what you said is I worry that a judge is going to take the same stance, which gives them the ability to legislate from the bench. They can listen to it and be like, oh, you know what? I sold you XRP and I made you a promise, which means my sale of XRP to you was a security. But when Christian sold it to you, it wasn't a security. Right now, fundamentally, I might have greasy car salesman to you and totally lied to you and convinced you to buy it, where Christian was totally straight up and like, this is the facts, this is the token, do your own research, buy it if you want. But how can they ever truly track that on a global scale, let alone within the U.S.? It's almost impossible.
On regulating from the bench, I think the answer there is yes, you're right, but that's all they can do until clear law is made.
That's the legislation.
That's all they.
That's the point I'm trying to make right there.
I don't disagree with that part at all.
Yeah, Christian, Brown Gent, are you guys just selling the news then? Is this just a blip in the radar for you all? And you care little because it means nothing?
So what I will say, number one, because like I didn't want to jump in when sort of everyone's going back and forth. It's obviously this whole thing is deliberately vague. Like the reality is like, and this is not different from anything else that we've sort of come accustomed to, right? Like if you think about, like let's take a look at the stock market, and if you think about sort of the punishments that are in place for not disclosing sort of your big buys, they're like actually recommending almost like that you do it. It's like such a minute amount, and it sort of is something that from the get-go, it's always been sort of elite favoring. And even now, like sort of what I don't like about this is crypto is really supposed to be that gateway away from this. It's a way away from allowing a few centralized people to control everything. So I am hoping that there will be some sort of definition that's out there. We saw, when we were at 3XP and you guys were at the event, I went to the gym and I came back and I saw like a minus 30% on all the altcoins. I remember texting you guys, like, what the hell just happened, right? Because like I was like, oh my God, like, and it turns out it was around a lot of this. And when people asked why these tokens versus the others, no one could give a definitive answer. So we need that sort of clarity. That being said, I bought XRP like sometime in December of last year. I definitely flip it into Ethereum right away. Like 80 cents, bye-bye. All my XRP is gone. I only had like 3K of it, but hey, I'll take that in Ethereum, please.
Hey, Christian, is this bottom bear signal for you, or is this just, another day in crypto?
I love the fact that we get this, this volatility in the market. I don't care about the legal portion of it all. I don't care about the politics portion of it all. I think that crypto is definitely doing nothing but going up. The adoption curve has hit that point now where 10% of people, I believe, on the planet know about it or have some crypto. And now it's the next 80%, and then the final 10% that never do anything. So we're in that adoption curve right now where it's the exponential age. I love the fact that AI is coming together, and AI is gonna be using crypto to do all its transactions. It's not going to be using fiat. So we need to all look at the big picture and get out of this little minutia. It's great when the market pops 30% or 40% up or down, either way, right? But just know that just gives you a chance to accumulate more. I love it when Jewel is where it is right now. It doesn't matter if it's 15 cents or $15. Of course, I'm happier when it's $15, but right now it's a great time to buy. So get what you like, stick with the projects that you really think are going to be here long term, and forget about the noise. It's all just noise, guys. Just pick it up while you can. This is the best time. We all have insight into things that are going to be on the horizon happening shortly. And again, a great AMA this week, Bolon. I loved hearing from Holiday. I didn't even know that was coming out this week. And the things that are just on the horizon are so tremendous. We're in the middle of the bottoming of a bear market, and this is like the accumulation phase. I look at all the past cycles and I'm like, okay, we're in the time now when we have the halving next year, and then we have the exponential run. So this is the time to actually get out there and be buying. Don't worry about the noise.
So we'll end on this question for Doug, Bolon, and Chair. You guys have your respective projects you rep, Aavegotchi, DFK, DCX, Dragons Crossing. As community people in those projects, I mean, stuff like this, and it's not just XRP, but the stuff going on with Coinbase and just everything, all that noise. I mean, what does that do for you guys as leaders in your respective projects? I mean, do you guys just tune it out, or do you tune in to sort of maybe feel better about what you're doing on a daily?
Yeah, Chair. What do you do? Do you just give everyone a kiss on the cheek and put them to sleep?
Personally, I just tuck myself right in. I personally tune it out, and community wise, like it's definitely we feel it. Those of people that have been in communities, especially before the bull, then during the bull, and then now, there's a lack of engagement overall, just because of, or as a result of, a retraction, like a contraction. All the normies went away, so all the hardcores stayed, and certainly in Aavegotchi, it's really interesting. I bet it's similar in DFK and other games, that because the game stands on its own and the tokenomics stand on their own. I mean, no, they don't, because they're very affected by the macro, but at least the planning has been done. The foundation has been built well enough that this next bull is going to be insane. And everybody that has stuck around knows that very well. And that's why there's like probably 1,500 some odd people that just like went nowhere. in Avagachi. And then that cycle, and you see that the tide like definitely pulled out. But in terms of the game, it's so barely discussed in the community, and looking at crypto Twitter like pops off, and maybe some people are popping off in there. But when it comes to the game, there's so much to do in the game. And the time is now. If you're really playing the game, you know that the time is right now to be planning effectively, short, medium, long term. All the tokens across all the different games are cheap. You need to be making your plans now and penciling in the fact that things are going to explode. And are you ready? Do you have enough of that governance token and utility tokens and all the farming tokens and everything else? Because now is the time. So I would say for the most part, people are tuning it out because there's other things to pay attention. And if you're as bullish as most of us are, yeah, like this is their second or third big downturn, and we'll be back.
Most people buy too late and sell like too early. It's like, but
that's not
Just
what we're
copy
supposed to
what
do.
Brown Gent does. This guy, can we just mimic you? I'm just gonna make an AI at Brown Gent, and then whatever that AI tells me to do, I'm gonna buy and sell that.
I'm telling you, Doug. I sat down with Brown Jen. I was like, "Tell me what to do," and I'm gonna do it like.
Yeah, just
I'm just gonna say this: KP told everyone what to do today on Twitter and what the facts are, but I'm not gonna say which tweet.
Christian, please repeat your tweet because I missed it.
I know,
It's an Follow Sticks intern. He's a great guy.
No. He probably doesn't even know which one I'm referring to. It's the exact thing.
But not what he's talking
No
about.
worries. No worries. We'll keep it vague then, and we'll have to follow KPN 6 intern. Booyah. Let's get to this next question.
Sergeant,
briefly
I didn't
then.
get to answer the question.
Doug Hype, answer the effing question.
I was just supporting other people. Here's something you might not know. I'm also like whatever rep associate consultant for Golden Baboons was just minted out 2 days ago.
Yeah, they did.
And the reason that it minted out is, first of all, because I'm awesome. And second of all, because the community is from Web 2. There are people that were business and gold mine investors and already kind of were like, they had a coin already sort of, but it came out of a Web 2 movement. And like, I got to quote D, who is one of the devs of Dragon's Crossing, who I had on my show. And he says that like, you shouldn't ever, ever, ever make a project or do anything just because it's Web3. You should have a project because it's good. And then if Web3 has some utility in it, use it, right? And so with Golden Baboons, you saw that they had a progression. They started and took steps towards a Web3 thing, and that did well because they had an influx of people. They trusted the system, what was going on. It wasn't just some random thing that popped up and random people showed up to, right? So if we want to have success in here, the answer is, and Christian, I like your answer. You sound like my internal conscience. It's all fucking noise because no matter what happens, they can always change it. And also, they're always going to just go after the big fish anyways. They're always going to go after Bored Apes or whoever. They're going to go whoever they can get easily and set examples, just like they do in politics. And the rest of us are just sitting here. We're all chasing our own tails. All right. So get a Golden Baboon or do a thing and do what you want. Like Christian Peter says, if you like it, do it and have fun with it. Right. But like, I'm not in these other news spaces on Twitter, which I could be with all these people that are like breaking news. What's the deal with this? And I'm just like, nothing. There's nothing here, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, bring on Hunter Biden, do all this stuff. Guess what? Nothing's getting solved. Nobody's figuring anything else out. But that's the key. Is a lot of it's noise. But also, we are at a point where like if stuff starts to go off and escalate, good things will happen. But like I don't like lie to people and tell them things are good when they're not. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say like, oh, you should buy a Golden Baboon because it's going to open price. I would tell people like, hey, if you like it, buy it. If not, run away fast. You know what I mean? Like just do that. So me and Christian Peter are in agreement here and you're all against us. Me and Christian are on the same team. All right. Me and Christian, me and KP. And we're like, bring the noise crew. All right.
Pretty sure I'm there with you, brother. So help me out here real quick because Golden Baboons, I may or may not have a few. My understanding is they are essentially back. It's like a way
we got kicked off of
OpenSea
OpenSea because we are backed by gold. They determined in their own way that we are security because the thing is that there's a gold backing of some small amount worth, like right now it's like $30 worth or something, some small amount, right? But like they do that with their coin too. And this idea is that like if the floor drops, they'll just like buy up the floor a little bit to keep it stable. But you can't like trade it for gold or really do anything with it, right? So
right,
just
but
a nice
it's
little thing to
essentially
have.
backed. It's essentially backed by people who own gold mines by
Yes.
0.01 gold, right?
And there's
0.01
no
grams of
guarantee
gold.
that
So
it's
they
going to go
maintain
up.
the floor at
Yeah.
that price. So if
They're
gold
just
goes
saying
up,
that like we're
floor
going
of
to keep the
NFT
price
goes up.
somewhere. It's just a nice little thing to have. It's not a big deal, but the
Sneak
real
peek.
value in that project is they have a huge amount of people from the gold mine investors in there that are all already homogenous with the project and the brand and the IP. You know what I mean? Like
And
they're not going
that's
anywhere
the
else.
beauty of it. They bring Web 2 people in. They've introduced a bunch of Web 2 investors in gold mines
Yes.
into cryptocurrency. That is the power of what they're doing in Golden Baboon.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's powerful, and nobody there gives a shit about what's in the news. They're just like, I'm here because I want to be part of this project because it identifies with something I already know and people I know and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's you got to look at the big picture. All this
But
little
we're
stuff.
talking,
Like,
we're talking about DFK, right? Like we're like sidetracking down. Like
So
let's bring in the show.
briefly segue to this next topic. We'll keep it. We'll keep
I love
this
you, Doug.
discussion simple. Oh, I love Doug too. That's why he's here for sure. There was a Pew Research poll. Basically, 75% of people said crypto is unsafe. They feel like it's unsafe, and I sort of got to thinking, well, what does that mean? Am I the problem? Are we the problem? So here I'm gonna put it on you guys. You choose. And it doesn't have to be these, but I've narrowed it down to these. What's worse for crypto? Here are your options. Is it the scammers, the ruggers, the shielders, the meme coins, or the fudders? What's worse for crypto that's not helping that 75% of
That's a good
people?
question.
Could you repeat that again?
Oh my God,
That's
that's a good
the
question.
same people.
Yep.
Could you
So
repeat?
what's worse? And but it's not. All right, or maybe it is. What's worse for crypto? The scammers, the ruggers, the shillers, meme coins, or fudders? From that list, what's worse for crypto?
It
Well,
depends on
so
where you look in. I mean,
A lot of
they're
them are
Right,
combined
terrible.
together.
They all find people to victimize, right? And that is the issue, right? The victimization of honest, hardworking individuals who are just trying to level themselves up. And they're all doing it. All of the people you just listed are guilty, to include the freaking shillers, right? If I'm just shilling a project because I'm getting paid to shill that project and I don't believe in that project, I'm a problem. Fact. That's why I will never view myself as a shiller. I may be viewed as others by shillers at a time, but honestly, I try to do my best to educate at all times and clearly enunciate that you must do your own research. I am telling you nothing but my own personal opinion, and I am not perfect. I ain't God. If you're worshiping me and following everything I say, that's your problem because you're fucked up. But you should be doing some education, and that's the key, is educating people and helping them, empowering them to research and learn more on their own so that they can figure out that they agree with you and want to do what you said you are doing, in my personal opinion. Moving on.
Yeah,
I
I,
have an
think
answer
the
on the
overlap
list.
there's pretty strong. Like I would respond to that question with a question of what's the purpose of a meme coin? What's their purpose? Because I'm not saying that everybody who launches a meme coin is trying to scam or rug anybody, because that's not the case. A lot of them launch meme coins and go, hey, I did it because the token name's funny. Don't buy this. Don't be an idiot. And then people buy it. It's not on them. You know,
They
but
buy even
ultimately,
more then.
meme coins
If it-
don't have a purpose. Scams,
If it-
rugs, like
No, they're gonna save Web3, Bolin. Didn't you know that? They're gonna save Web3 and save us from Fiat.
If it wasn't for Dogecoin, would many people even know about crypto? I'm just throwing it out
This is
there.
the thing. We have to take a second just to admit that Dogecoin, the people behind it that back it, are usually people that are actually trying to just send a message and have fun and like also be very positive. But then everybody kind of copied it, right? Like you know,
Right.
the Dogecoin and
Yeah.
stuff.
hey, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But the other side of that question too is how many of the people that only know about crypto because of Dogecoin, A, have a positive opinion of crypto, and B, are doing anything else in crypto? Did they really get any exposure?
You are really good at just damning humanity and saying humanity is terrible. You're very good at like finding different ways to like get around that sphere of like
It's a gift.
that theme. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of Americans are shitbags. Let's be real. And Chair, you need to leap the fuck forward and start talking more. I know you feel like you're not part of this, but
we have
you are, bro.
more
You're
here,
fam.
sir.
Start
Look
talking,
at-
Chair.
We have
You gotta
morals and
step
rock and
over us.
roll here. Look at this. Do you see this? We have morals and rock and
All
roll
right.
in America.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think
Do it.
none of those things are unhealthy for crypto. And I think they're very necessary and very similar to the old, like, whenever the internet really hit, 94. I always use that year, but like all of the scammers, ruggers, whatever the equivalent of shitcoin currency scams were at the time, straight up fraudsters, whatever, they all came to the internet first, and porn. And much like porn, crypto does a lot of things first. This
I
has
thought you
nothing,
were going to use a pirate analogy here.
huh? No, this has nothing to
You
do with
know it's
porn.
porn.
This is a space that allows people to move and create freely. Part of that, and it's like the thing about the nature of scammers and con artists, is that they spot easy targets. They know how to see a berry patch and go pick from it and keep it real quiet and keep others out from it. And it's the nature of those types of humans. And crypto is a lot of freedom and a lot of permissionless. You don't need permission from anybody. So it becomes that old conversation of educating yourself, which is very important, which was a lot bigger of a topic in term. Like in 2017, it was all about educate yourself on what the fuck is going on, because nobody's going to teach you. Use a hardware wallet, never use a centralized exchange, understand what the fuck it is you're getting into. That was the narrative. Like 2017, 2018, like that is what you heard when you came into these spaces. And then it got way too technical for most people. And that needs to come back, because if that would have stayed, and then let's think, what kind of people would want that narrative to go away? Right. And what kind of news outlets, people that want you to not use banks, and others that maybe don't push at the same sort of educate yourself, and it's your ass and nobody else's sort of theme. So getting back to what's worse, the shit coins, the meatsters, the rugs, I would say they're all good, because everyone needs to educate themselves on how to stay away from them, how to recognize them early, and let them stay around and defraud each other. Because at some point, if you have really good Sybil attack resistance, talking about Sybil attacks, at some point the Sybils just Sybil each other, and all of the real people just deal with each other. I see some version of that over a long course of time.
Your argument sounds so crazy, it might actually work. I kind of like it. But Brown Jen, I think you disagree, maybe.
Not that I disagree so much, but what I think the biggest issue in crypto is, because we're early, there's hyper volatility with a ton of lack of education, right? I do a lot of coaching, as some of you know. So I see certain themes with people. The people who come to me aren't coming to me because things are going great. Most people ask for coaching because shit's going wrong, right? And literally most people have told me what they got into crypto, because Sergeant, we did this on the same thing. I sort of asked these questions, right? Promise of huge gains from relatively nothing, right? Where else can you turn rags to riches? This is what people hear about when they first hear about crypto. So people come in, they lose a ton, and then they just are willing to take on so much more risk. So if you're down 90% and you want to get even, right? Because everyone wants to get even. When you go to a casino, people are always just okay, I'm down so much, how do we get even? And then they're just willing to have people who have such moderate risk tolerance just end up being the biggest degens. They end up sort of falling for scams, falling for rugs, falling for people who are shilling meme coins, right? And then what happens is these things go up and down, up and down, up and down. And then you have people, this happened with Jewel. Jewel was, when it was $20, all I heard was, oh my God, I wish I had Jewel at 10 cents. When Jewel's at 10 cents, everyone just floods the project. Make that make sense to me. None of it makes sense, right? And I think that even a lot of the people who get scammed, or the ones who are scamming, are people who already destroyed themselves, and this is the only way they know how to get even. So this whole hyper volatility thing, and you see the same thing in stocks. There's a huge lawsuit going on with the SEC with 5 specific people, like Zach Morris, etc. All they started doing was just buying a bunch of stock between each other and then posting on their private Discords, on their Twitters about how these stocks were going to the moon. They're still scamming people, but these are people who had lost tons of money if you look at their portfolio history. So these people feel like they're backed into a corner and they need a way out. So I think sort of it's the volatility nature, because you know what? You're never going to see the more things like Apple, which have medium volatility, sort of more safe. You'll never see more scammer on that. But you still see the same thing in stocks, where you have these penny stocks and stuff, right? Those are the if you ever watch what's it called, Wolf of Wall Street, great example.
So what you're saying is if you're gonna get screwed in crypto, you're likely you're gonna get screwed somewhere else. If it's not crypto, it's gonna be insert name of other financial investment. KP, I mean, I know you're everywhere. You're not just in crypto. You've got investments all over the place. I mean, do you think these are valid comments that, hey, you know what, the space is okay. It's not the space, it's the people who join the space.
First off, I want to say Chair had an awesome take on this. I mean, I loved everything that you said. The internet was built on the simple fact of anybody can get in, anybody can do whatever they want. Crypto is in that same sphere right now. I mean, you guys can remember, I'm sure, when people said, do never, ever put your credit card on a website. You know, that's the easiest way to lose all of your money. And you know, people didn't listen. And what did they do? They lost their money. And so it just took time for there to become HTTPS and these protocols that's protected people and encrypted things and made your life a little bit easier. Crypto is so damn new. You guys are all so anxious to get in and make $1 million on this brand new technology. Trust me, there'll be plenty of billionaires and trillionaires that come out of crypto. The problem is that everybody wants it today. So, you know, if you would just take a step back and look at where we are in this whole cycle of technology. I mean, Ethereum's only been around for what, 6 years? It's new, it's brand new. And that's the only way that we can get smart contracts, you know, onto crypto to begin with. But every single real world asset will at some point be on a blockchain. And I believe that wholeheartedly. You know, stocks will trade on blockchains. Everything will be instant finality. It'll be quick. People will be like, how did we ever survive without this stuff? But it takes time. So while we're going through that phase right now, they're going to be fudders. They're going to be scammers. They're going to be all of those people that were there originally. And it's great. It's great for the ecosystem. It weeds out people. It gives all of us that have a little bit better understanding to get people in and say, hey, this is the future. And we have a duty too to educate people, you know, just like Chair was saying, get your money off of central exchanges, put it into a hardware wallet, do all those things that are important, you know, do those things that you can right now to protect yourself. I know that Sticks Intern and I listen to the Bankless podcast, which I highly recommend that every single person out there listen to it on a daily basis. Ryan and David are out there to educate people, get them out of the banking system, get them into blockchain. It doesn't matter how they get here, if it's through GameFi, if it's through Ethereum, if it's through Bitcoin, whatever your way is to get in here, get out of the traditional finance system, see if you like it, find your tribe, hang out with people that you like and you get along with. At least you've got an opportunity here where in the traditional financial system, if you're not a billionaire, good luck breaking in. So we're early, guys. You know, we're here for a reason. We all see the opportunity, but don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. Give it a year. Give it until the halving at least, right? Let's see what happens in 2024 and 2025. Let's look at this as a long-term game. You know, this is my first downturn in crypto, but I see the upside. And I've told everybody, like, ETH to me is the best asset to hold and I've ever seen in my life. I just can't believe how lucky we are to get it at any price that you possibly can, because it's going to be the future of whatever happens on blockchain. So this is the time to get in.
You know, Christian, like, there's something you said that's really important, I think, to talk about. It's like, this is a very special space because right now, the people in Web 2, like, really, really don't like Web 3. Like, I spend a lot of time on Reddit researching and going, especially in gaming forums, and like looking for outreach opportunities. And literally half the forums I go into are just people being like, thank God we don't have NFTs in our game. Like, thank God NFTs are nowhere near us. Or even in Dr. Disrespect's game, which is really pretty great, Dead Drop, they're like, thank God he promised there wouldn't be too many NFTs in the game. Like, literally, people treat Web3 as pure poison in Web 2, okay? But that means that there's this bubble, this area that we have that other people aren't coming into. We want them to come in here. We got to take advantage of that opportunity and also realize what the real landscape is. Because if we think everything in Web 2 is just going to come over so easily, it's not true. It's probably going to be a thing where like they just kind of have to use it and eventually they just forget they're using Web 3. It's not a big deal anymore, right? It's just going to be like that kind of situation. But right now, like, we're in a very specific space where we have a lot of power in here. And that's also the reason I always try to fight for like positivity in the space, but that's, you know, just my thing.
Let's be real. Like, seriously, right now there's 7 people on screen, right? How many people we got watching right now? Like 12. Okay, we got a bunch of people watching. So there are dozens, if not hundreds, of networks being traversed right now, so that all of you can hear us and we can speak to each other. Tons of networks involved. A blockchain is nothing more than a network. Remember that. It is just a network with finances involved. So in the 80s, we had networks that were disjointed. If you had a local area network in your company, it meant you could print something, even if the printer wasn't connected directly to your computer, right? Then they connected those office buildings together, and then that network extended to the homes. And by 1997, we had the majority of the U.S. had computers in their homes, and that's when internet adoption happened, right? We're going through the same thing all over again. And that's why I love exactly what Chair said, Christian said, Brown Gent, Doug, everybody just said. Like, we have to go through these necessary steps. They're evil steps that we have to weed out the a-holes who are going to take advantage of the people in the space who are trying to recognize that there is opportunity here, right? So people are jumping in, trying to get that opportunity. Some people are looking for that overnight $1 million that is not realistic. Some are looking at the more of the long term in the space, and that's a lot more realistic. But the bottom line is all of these blockchain networks in 5 to 10 years are going to be bridged together, and nobody's going to know what chain they're on. And more so, they're not going to care. It's not going to matter because the content that you want is just going to flow. It's just going to happen seamlessly. And you aren't even going to know that you traversed 5 different blockchain networks, whatever the token is. It won't matter. Fact. That's where we're going.
Sticks intern, jump in here, and then we'll go to a next topic here, Halliday.
Okay.
But before we go there, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, well, it's hard to want to even jump in here. I know you have such a good segue set up there from making it easier too. But I really all I want to add to this is that I think Chair summed it up really well. Like, none of those groups of people are terrible for crypto or emblematic of crypto, and in fact, they're a lot more common in established, real, normal industries than crypto people think. They're like, when are we going to eliminate all of the scams? Never, ever, ever. As long as human beings exist, ever.
I still get emails scams a $1 million every day.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that there are scammers exist is just yes, that sucks. Should maybe we do more about it? Yes, and I'm okay with that. But using their existence as a reason to vilify or judge the industry is weird. And
The
then
United States Postal Service delivers scams directly to everybody's home every fucking day, and so it's when is that going to get eliminated? When is the government going to bring that in? It's
well,
yeah.
And then
no government will ever be efficient enough to truly be able to police the general public. The general public is more vast. There are more skills. There are more resources. We, the people, will always be one step ahead of the government unless we allow them to control us and micromanage and hyper monitor us, which is where we're going, unfortunately. That's the scary part.
AI. What before we get to this next topic, I just want to close on this. Fake being prepared. Doug Hype was mentioning NFTs. I know, Christian, you've talked about us being early. I've heard that from many, right? Another Pew Research poll, of everyone they sort of surveyed, just 2% of Americans and 6% of adults under 30 have bought an NFT. Are you early? Yes, you are. So don't forget that. Do with that information what you will, but just if you've ever wondered, we have hard data to back that up. So go ahead and transition here. Bolon, I saw this really awesome tweet by this guy. I think his name's Sergeant Filthy McNasty. He was talking about how this Halliday partnership was probably maybe the biggest partnership DFK has, they've done. So tell us about it. I know Chair Doug Hype, you guys may not be familiar for this. Many of us here who do follow DFK are very excited. Why are we excited? Why should people be excited if they don't already know? Bolon, tell us.
Yes, I would love to. This is a partnership that I personally am very, very excited and proud of. It's one that I kind of got to champion through the process, just by way of luck of being the one that they met first. But essentially what it is, Halliday provides wallets as a service, basically. ERC 4337 smart contract wallets, so still fully non-custodial, still secure. This is not a custodial wallet. It is non-custodial. But essentially what they do is they start there and they add account abstraction on top of it as well, allowing you to sign in with really whatever account you want. So you can go to, not yet, but you'll be able to go to DeFiKingdoms.com and say, I want to log in with my Facebook for us boomers, or my Twitter, or I guess we'll probably get Threads support. I don't know. I guess that's a thing now. You can go into all of these social accounts. So it feels a lot more like signing in to any other platform or website that you go to. You still have your wallet in the background. You do still have security around that. If you want to sign in on a new device, you're going to be required to put in, phrases. So all of that security side is still there, but it just makes it that much easier, especially for non-Web3 users who have never had a wallet, don't know what a wallet is, don't really care. They just create an account. Now they have a wallet, their problem is solved. And then they take that even a step further and do what's called session-based signing, where essentially you can sign a transaction and say for the next, 1 hour, every transaction that I click approve on, I signed. Quit asking me. And then MetaMask pop-ups or your wallet pop-ups. It's not just MetaMask, in fairness, but your wallet pop-ups are now removed for that period of time, and you can just click approve and keep on going. So not only does it make onboarding just unbelievably more simple than it is today, but it also really enhances the flow of the game and the immersion because you don't always have these pop-ups in the top right.
Yes.
No, and what a godsend, really. I mean, the idea of, right? I know it may or may not be unique. I mean, I'm sure others are thinking on it, but you guys chose to partner, right? And you guys admitted, right? You guys chose to partner with Halliday. The idea, though, and what I sort of my thought on it is, we talk about retention. Well, you can't retain players if you're not onboarding them first. And ease of onboard, and this isn't just specific to DFK. I mean, any crypto project. I mean, that alone is a very sexy thought, to be honest. Christian Peter, I know you're all on this. Tell us about your thoughts on Halliday and how this maybe sort of changes things up in your opinion.
Yeah, well, I talked to Bolon and I think it was Dr. Zipper Sun Bear for about an hour at one point, because I had spoken to Blockus, which is another one of these providers at 3XP, and actually sat down with the president of Blockus and talked to her for about 45 minutes about their solution. I'm glad that they chose Halliday. These people are all smart and they're creating enormously useful tools for everything Web3. The team that's there is smart people, MIT, Harvard, Netflix. All these people are extremely talented, and they're going to be creating tools that are going to help people just seamlessly not have to worry about a wallet. I think that's a big misnomer when it comes to Web3 as well, is that we all have these things called wallets that we have all these tokens in that we end up losing or that we end up misplacing, or our seed phrases get hacked, or whatever the case may be. It just needs to be a login, right? We're all so familiar with however we log into whatever we log in with. If it's an email and a password, or if it's a Twitter account, or if it's a LinkedIn account, whatever, let's just get rid of these things where we'll store our private keys. And, like we were talking about, if you want to have a hardware wallet, if you want to move all your assets out of the internet, you can. That's the nice thing about having private keys and your own custodianship. But when it comes to these abstraction tools, it's a great way to get people on board. And I'm so happy that DFK is actually taking the lead here, because so many other gaming projects are talking about onboarding. And if we can onboard, 10,000 more people, that's going to automatically double our user base, right? If we can onboard another 100,000, that 10x our user base. And, just what Chair was saying with Aavegotchi, I'm interested because, we're down to our 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, people now. If we can onboard 10x that right now, just by giving them an easy way to get on board, that's where we all want to be, is just get that demand up, get these new people on chain, get them playing, get them having fun, and seeing if they like these games that are out there. So I'm super excited about the Halliday partnership. Back to you, Sarge.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I can't help but you be stoked. I mean, because it doesn't take that much. It doesn't take that many people sort of keep things moving. And if you do it in such a way where you onboard them and the process is easy for them, they're excited. They like what they see. They tell their friends. I mean, you're sort of we've all talked about marketing DFK, marketing any project specifically. I mean, word of mouth. If the first thing you see and your first interaction is difficult, I mean, barrier to entry. So making that easy, tremendous. Brown Gent, share your thoughts.
So something I'll say that's not just crypto specific. So I, as you know, I work in the pharmaceutical industry, but that industry, like crypto and everything else, people are so used to tailored experiences. People are so used to like what we call the Netflix experience, where like they no longer sort of expect to sort of make their own decisions as well. They want sort of guidance on stuff. So like when you log into Netflix, what's really cool is based on sort of what you've done, the system figures out like, hey, you might like to watch the following X programs too, right? So we've termed this in the industry like frictionless experience, right? Frictionless tailored experience. And like one of the things you're sort of mentioning here is what can we do? And I think you used the word right, the barriers. How do we remove those barriers? Because the games that will succeed in the long term are the ones that make it the easiest for people to come on, do what they want to do, have fun without having to focus on the nitty gritty stuff. And like, I'll be honest with you, you know, when I've told people about DeFi Kingdoms, right? Like people who like Magic the Gathering, their biggest complaint, because they're not part of crypto, is like, why the hell is there a pop-up every like 5 seconds when I want to do something, right? And then they get worried too, because the other thing is, because of lack of education, you have no idea what you're approving. You just see a bunch of text, you're like, did I do the right thing? I have no idea. I can't read this. So once again, education, but frictionless experience, the more you can do that, the higher your adoption rate will be.
This is a thing, Brown Jen, and me and Bolin were just arguing in the chat. He said that the problem is that they don't understand that they're gonna actually own their assets. They think it's just microtransaction. That's not the truth. The truth is Web 2 gamers completely understand Web 3 means owning your assets. They all know it. They don't want it because of all those things. It's difficult. They don't even know what's happening. They think everyone in Web3 is a scammer. They think it's like a giant poison pill that you're giving to them that just makes their life more difficult. So why would they want that when they have games already that they enjoy like playing? Why would they go out of their way to play games that have NFTs when they look at it as pure evil, right? That's the problem that we need to overcome, and why I'm always like, we need better education in Web3. We need to get all this, try to get like away from scamming people, because the sentiment in Web 2, because I'm in Reddit all day long reading this, it's nonstop, constant. They do not like Web 3. They don't want to own their assets. They just want to play a game that's fun, and then that makes their lives like more enjoyable, right? So like all these things, like they come in and they have to deal with, so like, why would they go to somewhere where it's super difficult? They have to do a million things and everything seems scammy to them, right? Like that just, the reason that a lot of people in this space are here, the certain personalities, is because we try to charge through that and go like, hey, let's try it anyways and try to make it better, right? We're here trying to like be the frontier people, and they're just kind of like, I don't want to do that. I just want to have fun, right?
I know, of course, absolutely, Ogre. I know, I saw you. You did a thing in the gardens recently here on DFK Discord. I saw you trying to walk Chair, who had to step out through this process. What's DFK? What does that look like? Onboarding. I've tried. I was at 3XP and someone wanted. Someone came up to the booth like, "Hey, tell me about 3XP. Tell me about DFK. How do I get on? Tell me." And I know the game, right? But I had a hard time relaying that in in a minute or two, right? It was difficult. You've been in other projects. How important is this for you in general? I mean, if this could be adopted across the board, not just DFK, I mean, is that a life changer for Web3 GameFi?
I mean, Halliday and the account abstraction is. Right? It's taking Web3 and making it as easy as email, which is what we need for adoption. Right now, if I walk into a gas station and I start talking to the clerk and I try to talk to them about Web3, it's like, okay, yeah, now you need to connect to this centralized exchange with your bank account or credit card and put money in there. Then you need to figure out how to take money off and create your own wallet. Then you've got to bridge it over to this chain. Then you can finally start working with the project. That's garbage. 99.99% of the people are not going to those lengths because not only do they not trust themselves with that technology, but they're not going to go through that level of work. What Halliday does is it brings it to the level where it's as easy as email, right? Who knows what SMTP is? Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. probably maybe one or two, maybe a few of you. Most don't. Every time you send an email, it's what's used to communicate that email from your email server to another one, right? So that's how you actually communicate, but you don't know anything about that technology. It is completely underpinning what you're trying to do. Holiday kind of does that. With this account abstraction, it allows you to just use your email or your Discord account or whatever to log in to whatever project you want, DeFi Kingdoms in this case, and a few others that are available right now. And it just makes it seamless, right? You can use a credit card, buy in, play with it. You don't even know you have a wallet. All you know is that the stuff you bought, you own, and you can sell at any point without anybody telling you can't. That's the beauty of self-sovereignty. And that is what Holiday brings to the table. It allows us to do that simply so that I can walk into a gas station now, and when I'm just randomly chatting them up and they ask, oh, well, what do I have to do? It's, oh, download this app and then go to this website. It's that simple. They don't have to know anything about Web3. They don't even have to know they are using Web3. All they know is they download an app, they can access a game, and they own everything they buy. That's the future. Making it that simple is where we have to go with all of this.
Sticks intern, any final thoughts on this?
Ogre nailed it. KP nailed it. Brown Jet nailed it. Bolon nailed it. Doug almost had it. And that, my only thing I'm going to add is I did not have DFK being a first mover on account abstraction in my bingo cards. I know KP is like me, as he mentioned earlier, shameless shield for Bankless. We've known about account abstraction for months now. And I was like, man, I haven't heard any of the DFK people talking about this. I hope that they're doing it. And praise be
And
Jesus,
they did
they're
it.
doing it. They just dropped it right here on my face, and I can't tell you how excited I am. It's like, this is like everyone has already said, it's the Holiday provides the lubricant to make the whole machine go by removing all of the friction steps that Ogre was talking about, but each one of which loses you like 90+% of people.
Hold
Plug
on.
for DFK if I could, because like DFK, one of the reasons I fell in love with this project when I found it on day one, and why I continue to support DeFi Kingdoms above all else, is the fact that the core team members, the devs, they truly enjoy innovating. They want to be on the cutting edge of the technology, so they're going to find crazy shit like account abstraction before you and I have ever heard of it, and they're going to implement it just because they think it's cool to do it, right? And we just reap the rewards of that, of their love of innovation. So yeah, sorry, off my soapbox.
Hold on. I have to, I'd be remiss if I didn't try and pick your brain for Alpha, because people would like throw stuff at me. Share with us what you want, what you can. What's happening? What's going on? What can you tell us? And you've not been drinking, so I don't know how successful we'll be.
Was there a topic or just in general in life?
In general, no. I mean, specifically around DFK, of course. What Alpha can you drop?
Foot fashion.
Oh, fashion topics. I am very fashionable. I'm currently wearing a gray DFK shirt and a red DFK hat. I'm rocking it. Follow me.
It works well with the background, man. The colors work.
Right? Honestly, that's half the reason I switched to the red one. Part of it was to make everybody jealous because not many people have it, but the other part was the green one always catches into the background. But so what is happening? One last comment on the Holiday thing, and then I'll move on. But I did just like, as we were all talking about onboarding and all, Brown Gent, you mentioned like how often people say, there's just this pop-up constantly, like it's so annoying, right? Yeah, 100%. But how many people do we lose as soon as they even try to set up a MetaMask? Like, even if they're willing to, they're like, okay, that's fine. I'll do this. I want to check it out. They get to MetaMask. It's got all these warnings on it, which are good. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, especially around like your seed phrase and storage and that kind of thing. But it's terrifying. It's a terrifying process. And so you just have this massive bounce rate before they've ever even entered the platform. So like I said at the very beginning, like this one is a very special partnership to me that I am personally very excited about. Small amount of alpha drop there, maybe, if you want to look at it that way. The Holiday team does want to do some kind of space with us, an AMA or something along those lines. But they also are interested in hopping on a couple of community streams. So stay tuned for more on that front. But they already know who I think every single person on this stage is, as well as some that aren't on this stage. This is something that they are also very excited about. We've been talking to them for a couple months. They've been paying attention to our community. So they know who a lot of our community streamers are. They're also interested in doing a couple of community streams. So stay tuned for more on that. But I'm super excited about that because they're just, they're the perfect group of people for us to be working with. So outside of that.
Go ahead, keep going. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Yes.
No, go ahead. Go.
I really want to take you up on that holiday community stream offer. I was going to ask you if you could put me in contact with someone to get them on office hours. So I would be super.
I'm going to have to disclose up front that you're a lawyer, but
I will not be asking anything like crazy or trying to pitch them. Just be, talking about chat.
Can I request a co-host at Sticks Intern? I would love to be on that stream with you.
Seconded and motion
The
green.
answer is yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to be coordinating with them. So I'll definitely be in touch with probably several of y'all, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, all of y'all, if it's something that you'd be interested in, let me know.
Of course.
They're down. So definitely shoot me a DM so I can remember my running list. But very much looking forward to it. They're genuinely they're a really, really good team who is here for the right reasons, wants to build with us, wants to be a part of this community. So I'm really excited for them to start getting known to our community. I think that's going to be really fun. Brown Jen, I saw you on mute. Did you want to add something there?
No, I was just gonna say, I don't want to put my hand up for that too, but I'm pretty sure me and Grady would both want to do that too. So,
No doubt.
Yeah.
Maybe we can coordinate some co-hosted streams. We'll get Sticks and Ogre, we'll get Brown Gent and Grady. We'll figure it out. We'll make it happen.
Holiday has more than one person, right? We could probably get their whole squad in the rotation.
There's a couple people. There's a guy their VP, I think, who I saw on Twitter.
Why not just do a weekly stream for 3 months?
Yeah,
just rotate through the different people. We got 47,000 different content creators in the DeFi Kingdoms community. Just keep it going. A new person every week
for work. It's my favorite thing. The holiday guys,
yeah, they want to market themselves. I'm sure.
No, yeah, and they did genuinely. They brought up community streams, and we're already talking about them. So I know they want to do them. We'll make it happen with them and with y'all for sure. That's what it's all about. That's the whole point. So we will definitely make it happen. Let's see. So General Alpha
Alpha.
Yeah, General Alpha Dig. We're working on some things. Great shirt, KP. Great shirt. We're working on some things, and we're also working on some stuffs. And
Garbage Alpha, do better.
Both the things and the stuffs are progressing. No,
so are you working harder on PvP or PvE? Which drops first?
Ooh, I do not have a comment on that at this moment. Let's see. In the known world, so our next update, as you all know, is the Bazaar. That is getting pretty close now. It's looking pretty good. It's getting into really good shape. We're doing, the last of some front end work. We have, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I will. We have started testing. That said, Bazaar is going to take a lot of testing. Let's be honest. It's a very important thing to get right because it's a trading platform. So we're going to test it until we are sure that it is right. But it is progressing very nicely. So that's really exciting. There is a thing that's being worked on that is not currently known that I will not drop and spoil because I don't want to be murdered by other people. But I will just say it's going to be really fun and really exciting. And it's something that I am also really looking forward to. And, there's really good. I know.
I'm so big, but give me this. Give us this. Who would be the most upset if you said said thing?
I don't know if I can say that.
Good
Oh,
question.
man.
Well done, Sarge.
Trying here.
I would just say that we've talked about this in the past a lot. I don't feel like we've talked about it as much recently, especially since the team has gotten a little bit smaller, although we're still a pretty sizable team. We are never only working on one thing. And
Jesus
so
Christ, Poland for president. You just talked for 5 minutes and told us absolutely nothing. What the fuck, Rover?
yeah, thank you. I'm working real hard at it right now. I would just say within the next 2 months, there are multiple updates that are coming that will be really exciting. So these are things that are on the shorter side of the time spectrum. They're things that we are working very hard on and trying to progress, and I think they're things that will really surprise people and make them very happy. I will also mention it's not super alpha because we've been pretty open about it, but in conjunction with Holiday, so we have easy onboarding, right? What's the piece that goes with that we need? Easy getting money in. There should have been a better way to say that, but I blanked. So whatever. We're going with easy getting money in. We are working. Yes. We are working on on-ramps. We are in talks with a few different on-ramp providers, wanting to get them up and running here also in the short term. I don't have exact timelines because we haven't finalized anything yet, but we are in talks with a few of them, and definitely that is a very high priority that we've been trying to progress in conjunction with the Holiday partnership, because they're kind of two pieces of the same pie. Because now you can get in really easy and create an account really easy, and then if you can click a button and put in your credit card and have Jewel or Crystal or Jade or whatever else, now we're there, right? We're easy to get into for the mainstream. So that's a really big focus for me right now is working towards the on-ramp. Obviously, help from Sunbear as our biz dev guy. But definitely that's, top of my mind and very much at the top of his as well, to be honest, is the on-ramp side of things. We want to get that there too.
So what you said is PvP, PvE in 2 months. You heard it all here first, folks.
What the best part of that is, though?
You might be able to answer, actually.
That's a statement that can't get me into too much trouble. You're that way. Because what is PvP? What is PvE?
Well, I'll tell you the answer, Ball. The answer is PvE's already been out, right? Combat Testing Grounds. So that's obviously first. Duh.
Exactly.
And we're gonna get an update to the Combat Testing Ground before PvP, right?
But if you think about it, the combat required for PvP is also required for PvE. The only question is, am I fighting you or a random monster on the map?
They do somewhat go hand in hand, although there are some separations as well, because it's all one combat system, right? Which is what you were saying, and you're absolutely correct. All one combat system. It just depends on what the enemy is. However, each of them do have unique aspects, right? So PvP, you need a matchmaking system, you need a ranking system, you need all that fun stuff. PvP, you need monsters, you need location, you need quests. So there's the combat system, and then there's the unique aspects of each. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit on an AMA recently, that we felt like we had inadvertently set some incorrect expectations because all of the verbiage is so ambiguous. When we said we want to have some form of combat by Q1, we do. It's the Combat Testing Grounds, and that's what we meant. But all of the terms are so ambiguous. Win PvP, well, forever. It's not really a one and done. So
always improving.
Divide by 0 really quick.
Nah.
Yes.
Then undefined.
Spoken like a very true politician, Polan. You're hired.
Right?
With that said,
So I'm Philly McNasty. Before you go on to the next question, can I pull sideways and yoink a question that I saw in the chat a while ago, which I'm very curious about also,
Yeah,
and that Bolin might actually be able to answer? Maybe.
Sure. PvP.
So, there's something in account abstraction / potentially Halliday where it mentions the ability for it to be gasless, right? So the question is, somebody has to pay the gas. Where is that coming from? Like, if I go with Halliday, do I fund it with a bunch of heroes and then put a bunch of gas in there that I have to refill, or is Halliday / DFK funding that gas?
So it primarily will not be gasless is the short answer to your question. So Halliday has the functionality for gas sponsorship. And as you said, that gas has to come from somewhere. So for platforms that, are just an NFT mint and like that's it, they want to pay the gas for minting, something like that, it's great. It makes a lot of sense. For a platform like us, we'll be bankrupt in about 4 hours with you guys. So if that. So it will primarily not be gasless. The one thing that will be gasless is the account creation for obvious reasons, because there is no gas. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this, I'm going to disclaim it with that, but if I remember correctly, there will be like a little bit of dust dropped into the new wallet just so that the user has something to get started. Same thing, like really with, the different on-ramp solutions we're looking at, most of those, like they're paying for the gas because the user doesn't have gas necessarily. It's all designed around that. So the wallet creation, I believe a little bit of dust. There will, of course, be protections against, botting accounts to get the dust, which it's going to be dust, like not worth it, but somebody will do it anyway. So we will have protections there, but just enough to fuel that first transaction. Overall, it'll still be using your gas like normal.
So follow on
Halliday.
question. Will
Yeah.
I be able to and you may not know this, it might be still too early in the process to know, but if I drop say 20 heroes in there, can I fund that account with gas to make it free for that person for a week, and then as I get my profits, keep funding it so that it's always gasless for the person who's hiring my heroes to rent them?
You're talking about renting for questing?
Questing, whatever they want to use it for. Whatever I decide through the I'm assuming it's a multi-sig wallet underneath. I need to dig a little bit deeper, but I'm assuming we drop them into a multi-sig account, and then those users are able to use the other side of that multi-sig, just permissions, and run the quests because that's what they're granted. So can I take my profits and then turn around and feed more gas in there to make it more seamless? And again, this might be next year's question, not even next month or next week's.
Are you talking Halliday or Loot Rush?
Say again?
Are you talking Halliday or Loot Rush?
Damn it, I'm talking about Loot Rush. Ignore my face.
I was going to say, I'm really confused. It sounds more like Loot Rush. I don't know.
I thought I had been drinking a little too much, but okay.
Right.
Thanks for clarifying that, Bulan.
Yeah. So
Cheers. Notice it's 2/3 empty.
Loot Rush has a really cool product that I also would like to talk more to them about. We actually did touch base with them a few weeks ago, but it was a little preemptive, but that's fine because I just wanted to meet them. I kept seeing them on Twitter. I was like, I need to know who y'all are. But yeah, I don't know too much about theirs yet, to be honest. So I don't know. But yeah, I was really confused for a second there. But
I owe you an answer then. I'm going to find out. I'll give you the answer.
No, what? Well, thank you very much, Paul. I know we lost Chair and Brown Gent out of fear for losing others here. I just want to end here with Doug Hype, give you an opportunity to tell us. I know you have a stream on Monday. I did plug in your Twitter account and your YouTube channel. What time on Monday? AI conversation sounds interesting. I'm intrigued. What time and where can we find you?
So on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe that is 8 p.m. London time, 7 p.m. UTC, because we're going to be beaming in Victoria from London, who is some international model with millions of followers who's made AI version of herself to do all kinds of things. And the team that's built the AI for her is going to be there too, and we're going to have J-Chains, Crypto Stash. Pretty much anybody that's important will be there. Okay, so you better be there. All right, all you guys, whatever. Anyways, my point is, and now I'm harassing Elon. He needs to get there too. We need to talk about AI. It's kind of a thing. You know what I mean? We got to do this. And there's some journalists showing up too that do AI research journalism stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. I just want to shake it up and do different things and think differently and be on the cutting edge of everything. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be more other shows. We'll be doing like more tier list things or Dragon's Crossing skill books, which are actually doing pretty well in the market right now. And we're all kicking major butt with that. So we'll be doing more streams about Dragon's Crossing too and about all kinds of things. Things are going to expand crazy and fast and get huge. All the support and amazing community that we have, all the support I get is like super, super amazing because now I have to try to live up to it. It's like, come on. Like, how am I going to do that? Sergeant Philip McNasty, if I go to sleep at night, I got to wake up early and go boating tomorrow, okay? But I'm going to be on my boat with my phone the whole time, like contacting journalists and, while I'm...
Where are you going boating in Colorado? You going to 11 Mile?
We have big old lakes, bro. We have mountain lakes and all kinds of beautiful things.
Now, hold on. You forget I lived in Colorado, bro. There's not that many of them. 11 Mile? Where are you going?
We're going to Chatfield Reservoir tomorrow, but there's sometimes we go to Dillon, sometimes we go to Silver Lake. There's all kinds of amazing places to go to.
Bro, I might actually be in Denver in the next couple of weeks. We might be like
connect.
Yep.
Connect. Go, Kai. Sign us off on the answer to this question. It's a simple yes or no question. Give it to us. Hot dogs, sandwiches, or not? Yes or no?
I had this whole thing on my show before.
I know you did. So yes or no?
I had like 2 hot dogs today and like 3 yesterday. The answer is no, they're not a sandwich, but they're delicious.
Meat between bread, sandwich by definition.
On that note, see you all next time.
They're not meat though. It's like